So, hi everybody again. Welcome here. I will start as usual with the guided meditation and enlightenment activation for those who wants to have it. And you know the rules, so to speak, that you have to have the video on if you want to have the activation. So we just sit comfortably now, landing on this spot, so to speak. Just notice how this moment is fresh and new. Never been here like this, in these details. We just leave this moment as it is. We're not having an opinion that it should be in a certain way. We're not pushing anything away. We're not grabbing anything specific. We just allow this moment to be exactly as it is. We're not interested in anything specific of these things which are rising and falling. Even thoughts are allowed to be here. Thoughts are part of this meditation. We don't try to fix the thoughts, or stop the thoughts, or follow it, to analyze. We're simply not interested in the thinking, but we don't push it away. We don't push anything away. We just allow this moment to be exactly as it is. Not interested in anything specific and doing absolutely nothing. We can take a couple of minutes to come out of meditation. So, something is changing within you in comparison to yesterday. Usually during the activation, this, what we can call a pure being state, is seen vibrating within you when we do the activation. But today, it was a new element rising. And of course, the true nature of this being vibrating, which wants to break through in you all the time, has been doing it for many years, probably in many cases. The true quality or nature of this being that you are is love. Unconditional, total love. That's what you are. And it was seen today in all of you. It's beautiful. The love wants to break through. I'm just mentioning it because if you feel something different today, it could be because of this. Or if you feel something different happening within you today and the following days, it can be because the love wants to break through in you. And this is not theory. This is what is seen from here. Mystery? Maybe. For the thinking mind, it's a complete mystery, of course. But we know that the thinking mind doesn't know anything about the truth. So why should we listen to that guy? Just realizing that this true being, which is total love, is now breaking through in you more clearly than before. It's as if the whole group is going at the same time. Beautiful. Is there anyone who wants to have some comments about this or around this? You can say something. Most of you have the eyes closed still. We are continuing our investigation. What is hindering you from see that you're already living in the enlightened state? And one of these things, which can be an obstacle, is to not being aware how this me, this personal me, which is separation, which is not oneness, which is hindering you from seeing oneness, that this personal responsible me is coming in different forms through the day. We sometimes call it sub-personalities, or we can call it roles. In the beginning, already in the morning. If you're living by yourself, you wake up. So you are a single man, for instance. This is a role. I'm single. Already you have not talked to anybody. You're already taking a role of being single. Oh, I'm living alone in this apartment. And you put some sweater and some trousers on and go jogging. Huh? And then you meet somebody. And this one is quite admiring you for going up so early and running in the forest. So then you have another role. I'm the one who takes care of my body. Good one, taking care of my body. And if you have the latest fashion on the clothes also, then it's another role. I have the latest fashion. And then you come to the work. And it's a totally different thing because now you're relating to employees, maybe, other colleagues. And then you have the role of being a colleague. If one of the colleagues is your wife, then you have another role as a husband to her at the same time being a colleague. Another role. And then you're coming into the boss wants to talk to you. And you come into him, and then you are an employee, and he is the boss. So you are behaving in a certain way according to the role, being an employee in front of the boss. The me is now taking role of being an employee in front of the boss. Another role that is me is playing. We think. We think that there's a me here playing all these roles. But is it me playing all these roles? Or is it just roles playing? Like in a movie. And then you come home to your parents in the evening to have dinner. And then you become the little son again. Oh, how is it going with your work, my son? And you are playing a new role as a son. Maybe you come home to the dinner with your wife's parents. Then it's totally another relationship. I have to behave because I'm coming home to your parents, to the father-in-law, who has some demands on me, maybe, so on. So what is, the bottom line is, of course, that we are playing a role. We know this. We are playing a lot of roles from morning to evening. It can be 100. In the morning, we are the generous one with the friends coming. When friends are calling us, oh, I need some money. Can you borrow me some money? And because you are the generous role playing then, in the morning, you feel great. The day off, of course you can. I can borrow you. You can just give me the bank account. I will send it to you. And then in the evening, you realize what you have done. Oh my God, you're playing the economical guy now. I will never get that money back. He borrowed money 1 year ago. I haven't seen him since then. So we are playing roles from morning to evening. The thing is that if we are not aware of this, it's easy to believe that there is someone behind these roles. That there is a me playing out roles as a son, father, grandfather, whatever, employee, friend, lover. And we believe that there is someone behind all this. Is it so? Is it someone really behind it? Or is it just roles, like in a theater play? And if we have some seeing that is me, that I think was creating thoughts, if we see that there is no one creating any thoughts, if we see it, not talk about it, not believe it, don't believe me, it has to be seen by you. If you see that there's no one creating thoughts, no one making decisions, no one controlling anything, no one doing anything, no one experiencing anything even. What about the rules? Is there anybody there really behind it? Or is it just a belief? And of course, there is no evidence for any me. I am now playing some kind of role, being some kind of teacher or guide. It's also a role. I have to behave in a certain way. I can't say whatever I want, so to speak. That is some kind of little bit border how they should behave, and so on. But is there anybody behind it? Now you're looking at screen, so it may be easy for you to see that this is actually recording. This is not live. This is recording that you're looking at. So is there anybody there behind it? When you look at the cinema, look at the movie, we know that the guy up there or the girl, they're not there anymore. They haven't gone home. They're drinking tea. It was 3 months ago they made these shootings. And in the film, we know that there's no one there behind it. It's just a play. It's just role playing. But here in our life, when we go out from the cinema, we think that there is someone here going out from the cinema. Just stressing this little bit because we are so much in this role playing from morning to evening and we never think about it. And this role playing has a tendency to strengthen the idea of a person behind these roles. I just want you to be aware of this. It can also be one way of strengthening the belief in a person, me. And by looking at it, is there really somebody behind me? This role I'm playing the son of my mother now. But is there any personal me behind this role playing actually? Or is it just a behavior that has been a habit to play? I'm now the little son again. On the job, I'm the big CEO for the big company. But at home, with my mother or father, maybe I will become a little son again. So is there somebody behind it or not? Just take a look. Just take a look. Just a suggestion to become even more aware how this me thought, the me as a doer, and so on, responsible one, is strengthened with all these rules that we are playing from morning to evening. It can be an eye-opening actually to see that. Oh my God, I'm believing that there is someone behind this. But now when I look, it's just behavior. It's just a role play. I'm saying things that we are supposed to say in that situation with that person. My mother or father or whatever it is. Or husband or wife. Is there anybody have any questions on this? I hope it was not too theoretical. It's actually practical very much. Yes, Amanda.
Well, it resonates.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go somewhere new, and today I took myself to a concert just in the church, just on my own. And when I go somewhere new, I feel like there's no one there. Like I'm sitting there and I can't find me in that same way. I feel like I'm watching. Uh, and I can go in a cafe that I never been in, and it feels everything opens up. But then as soon as I come back to my house, the story, the role is there, and I don't have access to the feeling that I had an hour ago in a different place. And even when I try and say, is there no personal me? It's like, because the thought grabs, especially when I'm feeling very depressed or anxious, it's like there's no there's no unhooking anything.
Mm. Is there any question arising
Yes,
in connection to
this
this?
is I mean, you've offered the tools, but I liked the feeling I had 2 hours before I was in my context where the person is believed to be. But I guess the question is, how can it be that it can be clearly seen in one space and then totally like a different person, like that role becomes so believed? It's 100% believed.
Mm. When we are in outside our house, we have a lot of input that we usually don't have when we are sitting in the same sofa as before.
Mm.
We are used to have some kind of environment inside our house, which is quite similar from day to day, almost identical. But when we go out somewhere, we have new experiences all the time, new feelings, new sensations, no new sounds and that kind of stuff. So it somehow becomes easier to see that it is a movie,
Mm.
that something is going on here. And if we have this little, as you have, this little distance to this me belief as an
Mm.
experiencer also, then it's easier to see it when the me belief is not grabbing attention so much, because there's so much other things that is coming and grabbing attention, the experiences and feelings, events, talking, sound. But when you come home, well, then the grabbing of the me comes back. Here I sit in the sofa. I have to repair my house,
Mm.
or whatever it is. So it's much easier. That's why people don't want to be alone. Huh? It's much easier to go out on a cafe or go somewhere and we'll start to speak to someone on the phone.
Mm.
Why? Because we feel that something is wrong. We feel that something is actually wrong here. And the wrong is an intuitive feeling, and some kind of knowing maybe also, that there is no person here, really. It's just a play. And that is not so, it's much easier seen when we are not involved in the me.
Mm.
Because when you sit in the sofa, all these things coming, oh, I have to make one more line on the to-do list that I have to do tomorrow.
Mm.
So we are more focused on ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but this self doesn't exist. But as long as we believe, as a strong belief that it exists a me here, who has to not only write the to-do list, but also to make all these actions tomorrow, do all this, perform all these actions to make these things happen, that needs to
Mm.
be fixed. No? I don't know if that is a conclusive answer, but at least an attempt to answer why it is easier to see that everything is just a role playing, some kind of movie going on. It's the same with our going in a bus. Huh? If we are going in the bus, we are quite in the front of the bus. It really looks like a movie when it was moving like this, huh? The big windows and so on. It's also feeling that something is just moving, so to speak, without any me.
Mm.
I don't know if you had that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all have.
Mm.
So the challenge. So what to do then? What to do? Should I always be at the cafe then, or what? Well, that is not a solution. Yes, if you just ignore the fact that you will be ruined economically by being at a cafe all the time. But it doesn't solve the problem really, because the problem to be seen through is that there is no personal me. But as you know, all of you by now, we cannot see it by talking about it. We cannot see it by discussing the subject. See, the instruction is not to see if there is a person me here. To my experience, it doesn't work, because you never leave the thinking. It's just feeding the thinking, and the thinking is happy. The mind is happy. Oh, I have something to do here. Now we're going to question the belief on me and a me here. But we do it on the intellectual level. And to my experience, it doesn't work. I don't know anyone who has succeeded in this. That's why we're using tools which are going away from the thinking mind, going to the experience level instead, and say to ourselves, so how is this? If I now see here, I come back to the sofa, and I see that the me is really grabbing attention again. So how is this moment experienced then, felt? If there is no personal me at all, just let it sink in and wait. And of course, the principle behind this tool is that we should discover, oh, but this place is much better. It's much nicer to be in this state when I don't believe that there's a personal doer, a fixer, decider, and so on. Then when there is a belief that there is someone, which has no evidence, but just a belief planted in the childhood. So the hopefully that state will be better, and then we have a motivation for using that tool more, but not as a tool on the thinking level. It's very important to understand this. And I see that there are some tendencies among some people coming to individual session, and they are talking about changing the thinking. We're not changing the thinking here. We're not even confronting the thinking. We're not on the thinking level at all, because we know it's almost impossible to change an old belief. I am not good enough. It has been that since you were maybe 3 years old. How can you change that program? How long will it take? And by what means? That is why we understand that it's better to go away from this trying to change the thinking by going to the experience. And if we feel this is a better state, we will be more motivated to use it more. And I don't know in your case, Manda. Of course, you have to be honest, even if it's not good news for me to hear. But if it's working in your case, do you feel that when you do this using this tool in the sofa, do you feel that it is working somehow? Is it coming to a state which is better than when you believe that you have to fix?
No, because it's like when I say it, I know it's not the thinking. I understand that you're saying what's the experience. But it's like when the thinking's hijacked, doesn't matter what I say, what I invite. When I say experience, it just doesn't happen. But when something happens that shifts me, then I'm there. But the question, it doesn't seem to take me there. And I'm trying, even if I wait, it's like the thinking's so strong. it's watertight in those moments. But then if I go, something happens, like I'm in a different environment on my own, then I'm shifted totally and it's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love it to work. But it feels like it just, I say the question, how would it be experienced? But it's like, I can't, some things just blocks.
Did you do you use the word if or do you use the word when? When there is no person me at all. You know, why this tool is not working sometimes, I know this case
It,
also, it is because it's a little bit too general. Because the person me comes in everywhere. That is why we are using this tool at the end, so to speak. Because we need to work with details. What does it mean? That is not person, but this is a very vague. That is why we instead having this list of 25 ways that the me is showing itself as, and we are working with them in unique cases with people because it's much more effective then.
Yeah. And I am trying my more, maybe belief that if my personal belief, I'm trying that.
Yeah,
With
I know.
just still it feels so tight.
I think we should have a individual session soon, Amanda.
Okay. I just need a
Yeah.
sledgehammer to, it just needs like
Yes.
something to shift my, it's like, yeah, yeah, I would
It's
maybe.
better to use to find together in an individual session to find together what is in your case the most problematic thing.
Yeah.
What kind of me is popping up in your case and to work with that one. I know sometimes this person me can be a little bit too generalized, It's like saying, who am I? What does it mean? I mean, can mean anything, and everyone has his own definition. That's why we are working individually to find it. So I will come back to you, okay? After this meeting, and we can book up a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can come forward more. Do you have
All
any
right.
other? Do you have any other questions?
Me, no, but
No.
well, just to say that it feels like what I want is something that would put my head in a bucket of water, and then when I come up, like I'm not in that same, like if all the thoughts could just be, I want something that does that, and
Oh,
I
okay.
guess
I will
some
put you
people
in. I will put you in bucket of water. Not for long
very
though.
icy cold water.
just for to feel the coldness, the
Yeah,
shock.
the shock.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it
shock.
feels like something to shut this all up.
We can
Yeah.
have some ice cubes in it also. The brain shock. Oh, there's no me anymore. Maybe that is the next step. We'll see.
All right.
I'll make a note of this. Okay. Thank you, Martha. Someone else having some comments or something to share or question?
I do. It's Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy.
I decided some time ago that I didn't like this experience of playing all these different roles. It felt sort of dishonest. And I sort of got it in my mind that it would be more, spiritually awake to be the same person all the time and not change, not have all these different roles and behave differently in one situation or another. And I can see that also could reinforce a person if I think I'm doing that. But I wondered if that experience of sort of being the same regardless of the situation is maybe closer to the enlightened state.
So what, to not have any role? How are you then?
You're just sort of free and you're here.
But is there any, I mean, can you have any moment when you're not playing a role, even for yourself? It's easier to not playing roles when we are alone with ourselves, of course. But is it really possible to not have a role? You are a woman. Already then, there is a role playing. You have such specific clothes on you because you're a woman. So is it really possible to not having any role? And that is the first comment. The other one is that there's nothing wrong with playing roles. It's to see what is it really. It's a function. There's nothing wrong with playing these roles as a father, grandfather, son, husband, wife, whatever, daughter. It's just part of what is happening. And if we try not to have any roles, I just want to be myself, as we call it sometimes. That is just trying to make reality be something else which it is not. Because when you meet other people, they will treat you as in a role, a woman, and so on, with a special voice when you open your mouth and so on. Ask you for education. Your profession is also a role. There's nothing wrong with the roles. We're not going to take away the roles. We're going to understand and discover what is these roles. Well, it's a part of the soap opera. It's a part of the play, which is automatic, spontaneous, and happens by itself. It's just happened that way. And in your case then, because there's nothing wrong, of course, what you did, trying to just be one person, just be myself, so to speak, and not having these roles, but then that is also part of your role. Yeah, that was played out automatically. It's just to see that the belief that there is someone behind all these roles can actually strengthen the me belief. That is what we're talking about here today. Nothing wrong with any role playing. And a person who is playing very much, we can say, oh, he's just playing. He doesn't show himself. We have this layer also, this aspect, of course, that people are not at all honest to themselves or to others. They're just playing a role. But that is another subject a little bit, But it's the same in the sense that they are playing that role. Playing the role of being a Casanova. Trying to get money from old ladies or whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with anything. Everything has its place, including the roles that people are playing in the story. But we are not in the story. We are not in the story as a person responsible for what is happening. We're not doing anything. We are untouched by what happens in the story. We're just existing, living, being here, being present, being aware of the story which is going on the screen there. But we are not responsible person in the screen. We're just appreciating it, enjoying the story, enjoying the role playing that the people are playing. They think that they are having a decision to play in a certain way, but of course not. This is just how the movie is going. A three-dimensional movie. This was just to have another aspect to see how the belief in our roles is actually strengthening the belief that there is someone behind these roles. That was the intention of this little talk. Someone else who has this? wants to have, who has a question or something? Or comment? Or protest? Yes, Fritz, here comes the protest. No?
No,
No?
sorry to disappoint.
Oh, I want to have a discussion finally.
Oh, well, since Hollywood's only a few kilometers that way, it's what occurred to me is well, I saw this documentary, right? This actor who was playing the role of a person who is not a very good person, really.
Mm-hmm.
He's a method actor, so he got so much into it that he started actually behaving even outside the role like this person. And it occurred to me, yeah, when we start believing that we are actually are the role, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get into trouble.
Yeah,
That's where we have problems.
exactly.
But like you pointed out, that those roles are changing constantly. It's completely fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I miss that it's not consistent. This me thing isn't consistent.
Yeah. And if we look at them, if we look at the 25 roles we have during one day, we can have it as a little exercise for ourselves, just for fun, so to speak. What kind of roles am I playing now from morning to evening? And you can just put this list and have a 30, 40, and then see, is there anything which is, so to speak, common to all these situations and all this behavior? Is there anything that I can find which is common, or is it just a belief that it is me playing all these roles? Can we find somebody behind them if we look at these 40 roles one day?
Good point.
It can be actually good to do that if we feel drawn to this kind of little exercise. I don't, support exercises, but this is some kind of exception. Just to become more aware how we always, the life or the roles are supporting that idea of a person. But when we look, we don't see that one when we're looking behind the roles. So if somebody do it and you would like to give me a report, please do. Because this is unconscious in the meaning that we just switch roles all the time. It's a habit that we have been trained into. It started with as a girl or a boy, I am a boy. I'm 4 years old, already then he started to play a 4-year-old boy. Somehow he knows it also. I am small, Could be a little bit then, if you have some time left at the day. If you feel drawn to it, you can make this little investigation for yourself during one day and to see what you find. And maybe give me a report.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Fritz. Good point. Good point. Someone else? So we see each other tomorrow for those who wants to. Thank you for today.